Hello and welcome to Unit 4. This is going to be about fractions. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit of vocabulary for you. So this is Unit 4, Lesson 1. And this is math. And basically it's just a fraction review. So the first thing you have to know is the difference between a whole number and a fraction. A whole number is literally a number that is whole. It is not broken up into any pieces. It contains at least one digit and can be anything from 1 to infinity. A fraction is a part of or parts of a whole. A fraction is a part of or parts of a whole. Now, this doesn't just pertain to whole numbers. This could be objects, food, all kinds of things. So a fraction is just a part of something. Now, when we look at a fraction, there are two parts of a fraction. There is the numerator, which tells us the number of equal parts that we have. So this is the top number. And then the denominator is the bottom number, down, 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 denominator. And this tells us how many equal parts are in the whole. How many equal parts Okay, so let's look at an example and let's label an example and draw a model. The first thing I want you to see is if I have 1/4, what this is telling me is that I have one part out of 4. So when we write that in words, it's one part. That line means out of 4 pieces, out of one part out of the whole. And for this one, it's 4 pieces. So let's say that we had a pizza. I'm going to draw myself a pizza. And instead of dividing my pizza into 8 pieces, I'm just going to divide it into 4 pieces. I don't know if you've ever done that when you've made your pizza at home. The pizza is a little bit smaller, so you might divide it into 4 pieces instead of 8. So there are 4 pieces in the whole pizza. I'm going to eat one of these pieces, So I ate 1 out of 4 pieces of pizza, which is also 1/4. All right, so just a reminder, the numerator is the number on top. Numerator. And we have a denominator. This line can also represent division, and so it's important to know that this line has a couple different meanings. So we could say 1 out of 4 or 1 divided by 4, and both of those would be the same. Specifically, when we deal with fractions, we deal with 1 part out of however many pieces. And that's what that little line literally says, is 1 out of 4. Okay, now the last vocabulary word that we need to look at is equivalent fractions. So let me write that down, equivalent fractions. And equivalent fractions are fractions that have the same value. Fractions that have the same value. Equal to the same amount or have the same value. So we're going to revisit our pizza model again and take another look at this. So we know, if we look at this and we color in one of these spots, assuming that all my pieces are of the exact same size, this is 1/4 of the pizza. But I can divide that pizza into smaller pieces and I can get a different fraction. For instance, if I add another division here and another division here, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 pieces that are my whole, and 2 of those pieces are shaded. 2 of those pieces are shaded. So 1/4 is equal to 2/8. You probably have seen this done with both whole numbers and halves. So if you want, you can make something that looks like this. 1 whole equals 1/1 equals 2/2. These are all equivalent fractions. 3/3. Anytime you have the same number over the same number, that's a whole number or 1. 4/4. These are all equivalent fractions. 5/5, 6/6, 7/7, 8/8, all the way on. Go infinity over infinity, and that would be an equal fraction. Infinity over infinity. That would still be 1. Okay? Our halves are the same way. It's super easy to look at our halves and say, okay, a half of something is 1/2, or 1 out of 2. And it literally is half of the number that's on the bottom. So 2 out of 4 is a half. 3 out of 6 is a half. 4 out of 8 is a half. 5 out of 10. 6 out of 12. 7 out of 14. 8 out of 16. These are all equivalent to 1/2. And again, I could keep going on and on and on. 100 over 200. 500 over 1,000. Okay. All right, so we've talked about the vocabulary related to fractions, and I'm going to stop here before I actually start to get into fractions themselves. Please come and see me if you have any questions about the vocabulary.